know if it can. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Today I got something special for you. The company Evolution recently reached out to me and wanted to know if I wanted to try out their non-abrasive chop saw for metal cutting. Today we're going to go over some of the features and benefits of this non-abrasive chop saw and compare it to some of the non-benefits of the abrasive chop saw. Let's get into some of the cutting capacities and what it is this thing's capable of cutting through. So max thickness for mild plate steel, 6mm or 1/4 inch. Stainless steel plate max thickness 5mm or 13/64. Square tube at 90 degrees, 120 by 120mm or 4 3/4 inch by 4 3/4 inch. Square tube at 45 degrees, 89 by 89mm or 3.5 by 3.5 inches. Rectangular tube at 90 degrees, 95 by 180mm or 3 3/4 inch by 7 1/8. Rectangular tube at 45 degrees, 78mm by 95mm or 3 1/8 inch by 4 3/8 inch. Round tube at 90 degrees, 130mm or 5 1/8 inch. Round tube at 45 degrees, 105mm or 4 1/8 inch. And then minimum cut off piece length is 8mm or 5/16. So it's got this nice coating, this matte coating finish on it that's supposed to be rust preventative. You have your different styles of minimum cutoff thickness towards the maximum capabilities of the type of metal that you're trying to cut on this sticker label here on the actual tool itself. You also have the RPM located at the top, how many amps it can go through, and then of course you have your safety lock which keeps it down, but by pushing down on the tool we'll release the blade and have it come up. And then what you'll notice is we have this huge cover here that will actually come down and secure itself so you don't accidentally rub against it and possibly cut yourself. Okay, so that's actually a nice feature. It does have the auto lock feature here for a quick slide. So if you don't want to sit here and wind, you can lift up, pull back, and then put your metal piece in, push it up, lock it down in place, and then tighten. Let's take a look at another benefit here. So on this tool, you'll notice that there's also a piece here, so in case you do have some square tubing, round tubing, or angled tubing, you actually have a way to secure this nice and tightly to the clamp. You have a way of actually clamping that down instead of only having the ability of putting in flat plate steel. Okay? See how that works? So you can go all the way down here, have your flat plate steel in, it'll hold it, or you could slide the adapter on, and now we can put in our square tubing, round tubing, everything else, slide it in on home, and that's not going to move. That's going to hold it still for us. Okay, another benefit. This is one benefit that I actually really like and enjoy. I got this knob here. If I was to loosen it up, I can actually adjust all the way up to a 45 degree. So if I'm looking to cut a 45 degree out of whatever square tubing that I have, because I want to weld the table or make it look nice, maybe do a frame, I can. And then I just turn this little deal here and it locks it down. So say I wanted a piece of all thread to be cut at a 45 degree angle. I could put it here in the vise, slide this forward, get it all lined up, put our auto lock down, and then tighten her down. Now I can bring the blade down and I can cut this piece of all thread at a 45 degree angle. All right, now we're just going to take a quick look at the Milwaukee abrasive saw that I've been using. All right, so the Milwaukee abrasive chop saw, 4,300 RPMs, 110 outlet, possibly approximately the same length as far as the cord is concerned. Auto safety lock feature here, same exact thing as we saw in the Evolution. You push down, it releases it, blade comes up. Now you'll see here on the abrasive chop saw, the guard doesn't come all the way down and fully secure itself. Reason for that is because you're not going to have to worry about cutting any portion of your hand on accident should you be in here moving pieces around, okay? It's just an abrasive chop saw. It's really not sharp at all. It's a sanding disc at best, or a file. All right, so then on here, what do we have going on? So same exact feature with the auto slide. So once you decide what your length of or thickness of metal is going to be, say like it was this square tube here, you put it in like so. We can butt this up to it, throw it down, tighten and secure, right? All right, so one of the things that I noticed with this though is that when it comes to, let's say, piece of all thread, just butting it up and hoping for the best at this point, okay? There's no stabilization piece for here in the middle, so you're gonna want it as far down as you possibly can get it. If you were to put in square tubing, of course, you'd have it flat. Let's just see what it looks like when we want to change the degree or the angle of this. So I'm going to move this out of the way, pull this piece of all thread out. You'll see right here, I cannot move this in the direction that I want to without loosening up the bolt here. Okay, so in order to adjust my angle here on the Milwaukee abrasive saw, it's a 17 millimeter that I'm going to have to crack loose like so. And then from here, now I can change my angle. Oh, there's two of them. I got to loosen this one too. Missed that one. All right, so they give you two bolts that you have to loosen up. All right, so from here, now I can change my angle. And I can go 45 degrees this way, or I can go 45 degrees the opposite way. One last feature that I saw with the Evolution compared to any other abrasive chop saw, or at least in this case the Milwaukee, is on the Milwaukee I have one trigger here. There's no safety, additional safety switch, so if bumped, that's going to turn on. With the Evolution, not only do I have another guard here for sparks flying, and I have no guard here, but the Evolution has the extra added safety that you have to move over in order to depress. Alright, so first one up, naturally we want to get a closer look at the Evolution. We already pretty much know what the Milwaukee's going to do, but we might make one or two cuts with it. Right now, let's focus on the Evolution and let's see what it's got going on. Let's do another one. Another thing that I noticed about this saw that I'm already kind of digging is you don't really have a lot of dust flying anymore. There's no abrasive metal dust flying. You actually get these little tiny chunks of metal, so it's coming off in little tiny flakes. Cut a little piece of that off. Alright, but we're not doing a complete showdown between the Milwaukee Abrasive and the Evolution. Clearly you can see this is a phenomenal product and it cuts extremely nice. It cuts like butter. Again, there's no abrasive metal dust going everywhere, so I would still recommend wearing a respirator of some kind, but you don't have to. But I am telling you that this is definitely a lot nicer and easier to clean up than a whole bunch of dust that you gotta blow out and then everyone else is breathing it in or what have you. So that being said, let's just do one cut with the Milwaukee Abrasive, and then you'll see what I'm talking about hopefully at the end of this video. We're gonna take the biggest mamma jamma piece that they sent us and just see how she does. Okay? All right, what the deal, right? Look, in real time, I'm gonna take this piece from the Milwaukee, put it over on the Evolution, and I'm just gonna show you, right now, my opinion has freaking changed like you wouldn't believe. I thought, hey, you know what, abrasive, non-abrasive, I see the nice clean cut, but you know what, knowing what I spent on this Milwaukee, I think it goes for $300, and knowing what this one cuts for, I think this comes in around $400. Oh, I would buy this all day long. Let's go ahead and take the same piece of metal and in real time, and you'll see how fast it cuts through it. All right, I don't know if you can see this, but there. We didn't even get through half the thickness with the Milwaukee Abrasive. Not even half. And that blade feels like it's Dunsky. Oh, let's get this piece off. Real time. Can you see it? You can see it. Okay. How about that? Booyah! Let's do this! Like butter! There we go. And you know what? Let's even go at an angle, because I know you guys are like, dude, cut an angle, bro. Let's just do a 30-degree angle here. See how that works. All right, nice and secure. Let's do this. And she said, what? So it cut that pretty damn smooth too, and almost completely all the way through. No dent at all. Did leave a little burr, no big deal. Fold that back and forth, it'll fall off, or clean it up in the wire wheel. Whew. Man, it's getting warm out here, right? But I wore it for safety reasons. Let's talk about it. Okay, so Evolution absolutely owned this challenge. So we could have gone through all the pieces. You could have seen the lead up to the big dog piece. But why, right? We already know roughly what the Milwaukee abrasive saw should be able to do. What we didn't know is how it was going to get its ass handed to them by this evolution project right here. Now let me tell you, these blades are supposed to last a hell of a lot longer than the abrasive cutoff wheels that we're all used to seeing, right? These ones are no more different than regular cutoff disc or even a grinding disc if you had them. You use them. What happens eventually, it wears down over time, right? And they're gone and disposable. And now they're selling blades that are as strong as adamantium, am I right? Just cuts through everything. Swear to God, this is the Wolverine of chop saws out there right now in the market. So if you haven't got a chance to go over and at least take a look at the product, take a look at the product if this video didn't satisfy you enough. Okay, so what actually happened here? So this big old dog ring that we have here was about 4.5 inches in width, okay? But the thickness now, we're a 1/4 inch thick. This was a 1/4 inch thick ring. Now right here you'll see clearly it's cut, okay? Now let's take a closer look at what the Milwaukee did, and like I said, we didn't even get halfway through it. We barely heated up the inside of the ring, but let me bring it in closer. We did not make it all the way through at all. And on the inside, if you look, it barely developed a hot spot. So, to all you that stayed through to the end, thanks as always for watching. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. We'll see you guys next time. Deuces.